Hello and welcome to Saurav Sir's classes. Today we are discussing the ISI MSQE PSA paper, and this is question number 6 where it's told that f is a strictly quasi-concave function. Now what is quasi-concave function? Quasi-concave function means if there is a domain of x AB, then if f of A lies here and f of B lies here, then all values between A and B should strictly lie above f of A, which is the minimum of fa and fb. That means f of lambda A plus 1 minus lambda B, which are the values between A and B, should be greater than or equal to the minimum of f of A and f of B. So that means this all points should lie above f of A in this case. So that means the function can be like this, which is a convex function, a concave function. It can be like this, which is a convex function, and it also can be like this, which is a straight line. So all three are possible. So that means we can strike off the first three options. It is not strictly convex is not true. It can be strictly convex. It is not linear is not true, and is monotonic also is not true, because if it is a concave function, then it will not be monotonic. It will increase and then decrease. So that is also not true. Now when we say strictly quasi-concave, what that means is there should not be any horizontal portions in the graph. That means, like for example, if I take the graph of fx equal to x cube, then this is a strictly quasi-concave graph, because if I take any interval a and b, then I can see that all values of the of fx between the interval a and b lies above the minimum value, which is f of a. This is f of b. So it lies above the minimum value of fa and fb. So that means this is a strictly quasi-concave curve. That means there should not be any linear portion. If the graph is like this, then it is not strictly quasi-concave. It is also called quasi-concave, but not strictly quasi-concave. So that means no point in the graph should be no area in the graph between A and B should be horizontal. So that means by the definition of strictly quasi-concave, we can eliminate the first three choices. Now choice D, if f is quadratic, then the coefficient of x square is less than or equal to 0, which means if fx is of the form ax square plus bx plus c, then a should be less than or equal to 0. Now if a is less than 0, then the graph becomes an inverted parabola, which is quasi-concave by definition. So this is true for a less than 0, and if a is equal to 0, then it reduces to a linear equation of fx equal to bx plus c, which can be this case. So that means if f is a quadratic, then the coefficient of x square should be less than or equal to 0 is the correct choice. Question number 8. This one asks us to find the rank of the given matrix. Now to find the rank of the given matrix, we will use the echelon method. Now in the echelon method, we will first make the first element of the first row, we will make it as 1. So that means we will subtract, we will do the operation R1 minus R2 on R1. So that means 2 minus 1 will give us 1, 1 minus 2 will give us minus 1, and 0 minus of minus 1 will give us 1. And then we retain 1, 2, minus 1, minus 1, 1, 1. Now in the second step, we will make the first element of the second row as 0. So that means we will subtract the first row from the second row. So the operation would be R2 will be R2 minus R1. So then we'll get 1 minus 1, 1. 1 minus 1 will become 0, 2 minus of minus 1 will become 3, and minus 1 minus 1 will become minus 2. And then we have minus 1, 1 and 1. And in the third step, we will make the first element of the third row 0. So which means we will add the first and the third row. So we will get row 3 will be row 3 plus row 1, which will give us 1 minus 1, 1, 0, 3, minus 2, and then we add the first row and the third row will give us 0, 0 and 2. So now we have got the elements below the leading diagonal, they are all 0. So this is the echelon method, and this is the echelon form of the matrix. Now once we reach this form, then we have to see how many rows are there where all elements are 0. So there are no such rows, therefore every row has at least one non-zero element. Therefore the rank of this matrix will be 3. We come to question number 10, where we are told that there is a random variable x which can take values in the range of 0 to 10, both included, and it is said that P of probability of x greater than 5 is 2 by 5, x greater than 5 is 2 by 5, and probability of x less than 1, this is less than equal to 2 by 5, not 2 by 5, less than equal to 2 by 5, and probability of x less than 1 is less than equal to 1 by 2. So now if I look at the values from 0 to 10, so I have 0, 1, 5 and 10. So these are my intervals. So it is given that probability of x less than 1 is half. So that means the probability out here is 0.5 or less than 0.5. Probability of x greater than 5 is less than 2 by 5. So that means this is less than 0.4. So what would be the probability in between 1 to 5, both included? So here, if this is less than 0.4 and if this is less than 0.5, that means this portion should be greater than or equal to 0.1, because the maximum value of this region can be 0.4, the maximum value of this region can be 0.5. So if they reach their maximum values, then the total probability of these two regions becomes 0.9, and we still need 0.1. So that would be the probability of the region between 1 to 5. Now if any of these values is less than their maximum value, suppose this is less than 0.4, so then the probability of the region of 1 to 5 has to be more than 0.1. So this is the logic of this problem. Now we have to find the range of the expectation of x. Now what can be the possibilities? Now case 1 is when the values of x lying between 0 and 1, the probability is maximum, which means this is 0.5, and the maximum value that x can take here is less than 1. So this would be less than 0.5 into 1, which is less than 0.5. This would be the expectation of x here. And in the second case, the maximum value that x can take is 5. In the second region, the maximum value of x can be 5, and if the probability is 0.1, then this becomes 0.5 or more than 0.5, and if this is 0.4, then the maximum value x can take is 10. So the maximum expectation here can be 0.4 into 10, which is 4. So it should be less than equal to 4. So that means the maximum value that expectation x can take in this condition, where the values are 0.5, 0.1 and probability values are 0.5, 0.1 and 0.4, are 0.5, less than 0.5, less than 4, less than equal to 4, which means 4 plus 0.5 is 4.5, less than equal to 4.5, and this can be more than 0.5, but in this case it will be 0.5, because here it is the probability is 0.5, here the probability is 0.4, so the probability has to be equal to 0.1, so it cannot go beyond 0.5. So in this case the probability will come out as 4 plus 0.5 plus 0.5, which is 4 plus 1, 5. Next is when the probability of the first region is minimum, which means it can be 0. So then the value of expectation here would be 0. Here it can be maximum of 0.6, so it can go from 0.1 to 0.6 when sorry, 0.1 to, it can go to 1, sorry, it can go to 1. When this is 1, this has to be 0, this has to be 0, this has to be 0. So when this is the case, then the expectation of x can be 5 into 1, which is 5, and here it will be 0. So again this becomes 5. Now the third case could be where the expectation the probability of the third region is maximum, which is 0.4. So the expectation here would be 4. The probability of the first region is 0. So this is 0, this is minimum, this is maximum. Now in this case the maximum value of the second region can be 0.6. So that means the maximum value of the expectation in the second region can be 5 into 0.6, which would be 3. So here the expectation of x becomes 7. So this is the condition under which the expectation of x can reach its maximum value of 7. It cannot go beyond 7. So it has to be less than or equal to 7. And this will happen when the second region has a probability of 0.6 and the third region has a probability of 0.4. Now we take the case where this can be minimum. So once again I take the probability of the first region as 0, and the value of x minimum value of x in the first region can be 0, so the expectation of x will be 0. In the second region the minimum probability is 0.1, but if this is 0.1, then the other two has to be 0.5 and 0.4, because if this is 0.1 and the first one is 0, then the third one has to be 0.9, which is not possible because the maximum value is 0.4. So we consider the case where first region the probability of the first region is 0, and the expectation comes out as 0. On the other hand, if I take the probability of the first region as 0.5 and the value of x as 0, then also the expectation of x in the first region comes out as 0. That also will be the minimum value of the expectation in the first region. Now we go to the second region, taking this value as 0.5. We go to the second region where I want to maximize the second region. So that means the third region has to be minimum. So this becomes 0. So this will become 0. Then if this is 0.5 and this has to be 0.5, so that means the expectation here would be minimum would be 0.5 into 1, which is 0.5. So in this case, the expectation of the first region is 0.5 and the value is 0. So expectation of x is 0 in the first region. In the second region, the expectation of the probability of x is 0.5 and the value is 1. So 0.5 into 1 is 0.5, and in the third region it is 0. So this becomes 0.5. And then we have a case where the expectation, the probability of the third region is 0.4 and the value is minimum. So 0.4 into 5 will give us 2. In the second region, the probability is 0.1 and the value is 1. So this would be 0.1 and this would be 0. So clearly we can see that the minimum value of expectation of x can be 0.5 and the maximum value of expectation of x can be 7. So that means none of the above is true.